So hello everyone. I want to invite you to another interview where we are connecting with those who have had contact with the higher realms, with their spirit guides, their spiritual teams, angels. And today we're asking questions and we're talking about some of the answers that some of these clients have received, where they have been able to connect with their higher self and get the answers to some of the questions that we all constantly ask, which is, what is my purpose and why am I here? And so today's guest, I'm happy to announce that today's guest, her name is Jadean J. So thank you, Jadean, for being here with us today.
Yes, thank you for having me.
You are welcome. I love seeing your beautiful, sunny, bright face. And we had such an amazing session when you came in for your session. So I really wanted to kind of talk about it and share it with everybody out there, some of the things that you remember. So can you tell us just a little bit about you and what prompted you to come in to have a soul regression session?
Since I was young, I've been always questioning and wondering and questioning and wondering and trying to make sense of everything. And I, through my discoveries and through my searching, I've come across energy healing and soul regression, and I looked for a healer. And I go with like I kind of let the universe unfold, and I try to go with my intuition, and that's part of the whole thing. But it aligned up to where I came across your teachings and your assistance and your program that you're helping people. So I was just pulled towards you. Like I don't have the answers, and I needed someone like yourself to maybe help me. I was hoping could help me just kind of get some answers. So it was just kind of like universe kind of lined it up. Like there you were, and you were in my radar.
So before your session, were you in contact with your higher self? Were you meditating on a regular basis?
Because I was not, linked up with my higher self as much as I felt like I could. I was just looking, hopefully I could tap into something.
Right. Okay, and so can you just give us a little synopsis about your experience in having it? Did you have past lives? Did you have current lives? Connecting to your higher self? Can you just give us a really brief synopsis of what your experience was?
I think I tapped into my spirit guides. I remember my grandmother came through, and then their truth is there's like a dark side. I remember a dark energy that tried to come through, or did come through.
So what did it feel like when you were tapping into or channeling your divine self? Could you feel that energy when you were making that connection with yourself, your higher self?
To be honest, like I was in sort of like a trance that it was kind of like, but it was safe. I never felt fear or uneasy or scared. But I just remember being like in sort of like a hypnotic state, and it just felt, it's hard to explain. It felt like there was just healing taking place, to be honest. Like that's the only thing I can explain it. And I know there was a lot of physical healing too. I remember a couple times like energies working their way out. I wouldn't say it was painful, but it was, you could tell that there was healing taking place physically, emotionally. And I felt a lot of release as far as like from my throat and my heart. It's like a lot of my, I guess the way I explain it, my spirit guides were allowing me to speak my truths and experience the release of a lot of like guilt and shame and fear, like releasing of those emotions in a safe way is the only way I can explain it. It's kind of like knowing you have to go through something and do something that might be painful, but having support.
So when you went in for your session, did you discover like what your purpose was? Because a lot of times people who come in for sessions, one of the major questions that people have is, you know, what is my purpose? Why am I here? Did you have any discoveries like that?
It's more like it's not, I did, but the way I explain it, the way I can explain it to myself is it's not that, oh, I have one definite purpose and this is it, but it's not, that's not what my personal experience came through but I did get answers to how to go about the rest of my journey, as far as just to be unapologetically me, be my truth. And my purpose is to be the best me with every situation that I can be. And it's like every moment is another unfolding, I guess, if I can explain like that to you. But to be is like, what it's done for me is let me just be okay to give up all this pretentiousness and trying to put on airs with people and trying to save face with people, trying to avoid the hard truths with people. Because it's like everybody's out. I felt like what I uncovered for myself is like there's such thing as like energy vampires, and people really can tell, like when you're working on yourself and your light's starting to shine, it's like people are drawn to you because they want to extract your energy, but then you're left empty. So I did discover my purpose was to show my kids, my family, how to be you and protect yourself, protect your energy at all costs. Because there's so many people, like it's like they got 8 arms, 10 arms. They're like, some people are just trying to drag you down.
Right. And that's the thing, because there are so many energy vampires out there, basically is what we call them. People who just come into your awareness and try to zap you out of it, you know, take all your energy because they have to make themselves feel better. But the thing I want to point out about the life path or the life purpose is that nobody is given a definite answer. And some people do come in wanting to get that. I need the exact path. I need to know that this is where I need to go. But it doesn't happen that way, which I'm glad that you shared that, because we have free will and we can make choices, and we might be on this journey this week, but you know what? One decision will change our course, and we're all of a sudden now moving in a whole other direction because of a choice or a decision we made, or a person that we decided to engage with, because we have choices. So right. we're given guidelines, which is what you were given, and then you take those guidelines and you do with them what you choose. So it's never a direct black and white path.
The way it makes sense to me, and the way I can explain it, it's kind of like what I walked away with is I felt like I guess you can relate it to like a thermostat. Like my thermostat was set. Like I was aligned. I was like open to my truth. So I was like set, like my thermostat was like set at 72 or whatever you want to pick, whatever. But now I'm very aware of when someone or something is taking me down or up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm okay with going up a little higher on my
Right. Journey.
What benefits me the most is when someone or something starts to pull me down. I'm aware of it right away. It's like, and then now I'm able to step. I think what had happened the most that I appreciate is that I'm able to step back and observe when I'm getting off, and I don't spiral down like before. It's like you can let your mind, the mind hides things and the mind tricks. When you realize I'm not the mind, I'm a spirit. I'm just using this body to get around, and I use my mind to direct where I'm trying to go. And the spirit is perfect. So the spirit, it helps you, it centers you, and it's like, okay, this person is dragging you down. Now it's your choice. You get to use your mind to take it to another area and go protect yourself. Like if you could, whatever you got to do to get away from this person that's dragging you down, whatever it takes. Sometimes you just have to be blunt. Like that's what I love that I took from it, is like, I'm so blunt. I literally say that. You're dragging my energy down. I can't be around you. I was fine until you got here and you started saying this or that, or you started behaving this way. Or I don't even have to explain it to you. You and your energy, and I'm trying to be as polite as I can, they don't vibe with mine. I have to get away because I was okay before you got here. And I'm just trying to be honest. And this is me talking to like a particular person that I might be experiencing. Now, when I'm with my grandkids or my children, my vibes are flying high. I'm like high, high, high. And it's like, I ride that wave because that's what life is like. It's like, you think you know, and this is my belief, and I don't want anybody to be offended, but I'm only being true to myself. I believe there's no heaven or hell. We create it right here on this, because there's times when I feel like this person's dragging me to hell. And then when I'm with my grandkids or my children, like there's no better place. This is heaven. This is paradise. I'm happy. This is just joy.
Absolutely.
Contrast of it all. I feel like, okay, that's a good way. Is like this session, the session that I had was allowing me to get in tune with the contrast, and I have a choice. If I want to go and stoop to that level, I can. If I don't, because it's all about how you, because everything's going to manifest through your body. You're going to feel sick. You're going to have a headache. You're going to start having anxiety. It helps you like understand. And you're your own alchemist. You realize like, oh, when I'm around you and the way you're behaving and the way what you're thinking about me, because your intentions come through, their true intentions about you come through in the invisible field. Like they can't hide it. That's why you have this, that's why God, Creator, Most High, Mother, Father, whoever you want to, however, God, whatever you want to say, it created this alignment for you you'll know.
Yeah, our bodies are our guiding post. You know, if we just listen to our bodies and pay attention, our bodies will tell us everything that we need to know. Right. But most of us aren't in tune with our bodies, so that's good that you were able to take away from that.
That was the like a major benefit from it. It cleared it felt like, you know, it's personal. Like I can't say for the next guy what
Yeah, it's a personal thing. It is. It's different for everybody. Everybody takes it.
Personally, it's like my heart chakra was just in my throat, like, because I was like, my truth just came out, and like there was so much energy in there, and then here.
What did it feel like when we were clearing out that energy? Could you feel it clearing out?
Multiple things, like some, like a little bit of a pressure, and then kind of like a coughing. But then the way I can explain it is if you've ever had a drink of 7-Up, like a fizzy soda drink, you'll start to feel like every cell is popping or something like that. It's like an effervescent. It goes through different. So there's a couple of things that I felt personally.
No, I think it's beautiful, and everybody does feel it and experience it different. So that was beautiful. So let me ask you these questions. A lot of times when I'm talking to people and doing interviews, I'll ask them like their earliest childhood memories. Now, some people can't remember anything before the age of 12. Other people remember things when they were like a year old. So how old is the earliest childhood memory that you have?
Probably, I want to probably say about 4.
4? And when you were a child, did you have any gifts, or were you aware of that other realm, the other field? Do you remember anything like that when you were a child?
No, I can't say that I did. No.
Okay, so because we all plan our life before we come into this world, what kind of a life or challenges did you set up for yourself coming into this realm, this earthly plane? Did you set up yourself to have an easy life, or have you had a challenging life?
I definitely set it up to be challenged.
Mm-hmm. And how do you feel you've gotten and done through those challenges?
It's still a work in progress. It's still unfolding, but I know that it's the right thing to do. And I apologize.
No, that's okay. That's truly coming from the heart. That's why you open up that heart center, so you can experience that. And you know what? Other people are experiencing and going through the same emotions that you're experiencing. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to do these interviews, because I wanted people to know that this is real. And people have these sessions for this reason, to help us on the journey. It's not like you're going to take the red pill like on the Matrix and you're going to be awake and everything's good. We still have our stuff that we have to work through.
Right. And I don't want anybody to like feel like sorry for me, because there's people like, I'm blessed. Like, I was born in a country where women, and in a time where we have rights. I'm not like, I try to look at it as, I didn't choose to be born in Africa where they're slaughtering me at the age of 12, and then I'm dead by the time I'm 13 because all these atrocities that happen to women, but I'm still validating myself, like, for whatever reason, when I chose to come through this dimension this time, I'm grateful. And it's if it can help somebody, then I'm all for it, because that's what we're here for. That's what I'm doing. And I guess I chose my this particular journey because I wanted to experience life, like I know what it's like to. People think it's a personal thing, but I've had periods where I've been in the spirit world, and you don't want to just be there all the time, because then it's not, you're not being fully, you're not a fully, it's not a full thing. It's not a full thing. I can't explain it, but once you come here back, you've been there and you come back, now you get it. It's like, kind of like explaining, like, if it's so wonderful, why don't we just stay in the spirit world? But you can't. You need the body to experience the joys of what true heaven and paradise is. It's like, it's the feeling of hugging another person and loving that person. It's a feeling of enjoying a good meal or a bite of chocolate, or a love of your spouse, your kids. Just, it's the little things. Truly, it's the little things in life. Like just sitting down, having. I'd give anything to know then what I know now. Just if I could sit and hug my grandma again have a cup of coffee and watch Little House on the Prairie. Like that's like we've gotten so far away from what life is. It's like, well, we got to buy the best house, the best car, we got to buy the best shoes, purse, clothes. None of that matters. Like you start to realize, like, that's not what it is. So the best that you can do is try to take that information and get it to come across to your children, grandchildren, your friends, or whoever that cross your path, if they want to receive it, because you don't know what the next person is going through, and you might say something to them at that very moment that gives them hope to keep going on. Because some people they get in their head, and the anxiety of this journey that they picked, it might become too tough and they might tap out, and that's why suicide is very high, and depressions and mental illness, because they can't cope.
Yeah, well, and this journey is all about love and forgiveness.
Mm-hmm.
And bottom line, that's what we came here to do. But to experience it, and how can you know joy though without pain?
Exactly.
Without some of that. So it's like you have to. This world is a world of duality. So you experience the hard things as well as the good.
Right.
And through a lot of my soul regression sessions, I've been told that this is the lifetime, though, that we all came here to change the way that we've been living. And we came here to help raise our vibration from the third dimension into the fifth dimension. We're just going through the fourth right now. And the vibrations are really, well, right now the energy on the planet is very intense. First of all, because we're all facing our demons, the emotions, and all that we need to clear out. A lot of people have come here to clear up ancestral bloodlines and things that have happened in the past. And so when you're experiencing all of this trauma that we all experience, the emotions that are surfacing, we need to look at them, work through them, and release them. And that's what we came here to do, to clear up the bloodlines, clear up our trauma at this time, clear up karma.
Yeah.
And all of our systems have to change, and that's a lot of what's coming through in my sessions right now is about like this coronavirus coming about right now. This is the beginning of the change, and I've been being told for the last couple of years that things are going to change, and they're going to change really quick. And to be prepared, stay calm through all of it, because just know that on the other side, when we get to the other side, we've got a whole new world ahead of us. But we all have to work through our trauma. Whatever that, the wounds that are in the soul need to be addressed and looked at and worked through. So.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm a firm believer on that. And some people, people get too caught up in, I think, labels, because someone might hear the word karma and be like, oh no, well, call it spiritual debt. And because we all believe it or not, it's a real thing.
Right. Well, and a lot of people think that there's such a negative connotation around karma, and it doesn't mean that it's a bad thing, because karma is a good thing.
Yeah, I was thinking on that aspect, like to be healing, your spiritual debt could be like the side of karma that we don't like, but it's like you said, you have to have the contrast, the duality of it all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and there are some people that are coming through in my sessions that they actually help save somebody's life in a past life somewhere, let's say. And so now that person that they saved their life for is now here in this life to help save them. So to me, that is good karma. So there is good and bad in karma. So it's not always bad, but we have such a negative energy around the word karma when it really is just balancing. So it's really beautiful. So
it really is, yeah.
So how has your life changed since your session? What kind of things have you gone through?
Being unapologetically me, like, and whatever to be honest, like, I just kind of, one thing is I walked away from a nearly 20-year career.
Yeah.
Because it was not, I couldn't be in that toxic environment anymore. Now that you see, you got to be careful what you wish for. Because when you want an energy clearing, you're going to get it, but you're going to be so in tune with things that are not aligning with you that you're going to be forced to, like, it's them or me. So I left a toxic career or an environment because there's, like, I got to save my life. Like, and it's not to say that the work that I was doing, was there anything wrong with it, or it was just it's taking up too much of my valuable time, because you'll start to realize more than anything in this world is how you spend your time and how you spend your thinking, and are you serving others? Because if you're not, it's a waste to me.
Absolutely. So, yeah.
The fact that it's had me plan to do other things, but the joy and the humor in it all is that you can plan, but you have to be able to move with the punches, because you might plan one thing and then it's gonna change, and so your plans will take a different direction. The lessons that I'm learning is to try and not suck and hold on to a particular outcome the way you want it to be. Be able to be flexible and not just be so stuck on one particular, like, and getting upset when things don't go your way. It's like training me. It's like training. It's like I'm in like a boot camp.
Yeah, a spiritual boot camp. That's what we call it.
Like trying to detach from all these expectations of myself, other people, and outcomes of situations, and just like being okay with things not being perfect.
Yeah, and so
fine.
And so where do you go from here then? What is your plan for your future? What do you hope to do or gain?
Well, every day I'm trying to find, I'm still piecing it all together. Like what do I want to, how do I want to spend my days? But at the same time, we're in a world where you gotta be able to generate income. So I'm trying to merge together something that's beneficial for me to keep myself in order and also can serve others. So I'm still working on unfolding all that, and it's a work in progress. So I'm not completely, I'm just not exactly knowing exactly where I'm going, but I know I'm going in the right direction because I feel better. That's
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know what? A lot of times your session is fairly recent, and a lot of times people will come to me like a year later and say that at the beginning, it really didn't make as much sense to them until they've had time to process it like a year later. Like a year down the road, you're going to look back and you're going to see major changes, you know. I know it's been a while, but now I do want to bring up a couple of things. First of all, right after your session, you had a Kundalini experience. And I just wanted to let people know that the Kundalini is the energy that moves up your spine, up your energy centers. But before that, you had blockage in your throat and your heart center. So in order for that Kundalini experience to happen, we had to clear out those energy centers. And we have to keep them cleared. So
right. That's the thing of people think it's not a one and done thing. You have to protect it. And what I learned after this is that every day, there's a saying in ancient Egypt, the mother, when matriarchy was in order, she would teach. She was the teacher in a beautiful way, not in the like concept of a teacher where we think like, you know, going to school teacher. No, she was a beautiful, loving, nurturing mother teacher. And the one concept you would be taught is that you have to know every day is judgment day. You're not going to get to the end of your life and then have one big judgment session. No, every day is judgment day. That's why the sun rises and sets. But I took it a step further for myself and said, every choice is a judgment, because you're going to make a wave with that choice, like we said earlier. And then I took it a next step. Every thought is, and then when you incorporate the Bible, because some people aren't religious, and I'm not religious, I'm just spiritual. And the Bible has it has a very large role. That's why it says in there, take every thought captive and then put it under, you weigh it under the scale. Do you want, because it says, every day I set before you life and death, blessing and cursing. Choose.
right?
Choose.
Choice every day, every decision you're making.
Yeah. So, and then there's like there's another saying, like, watch your thoughts, they become words. Watch your words, they become actions. Watch your actions, it becomes your character, it becomes your destiny. So that's the thing you got to remember, is like, once you get cleared, you got to realize, like, it's your own responsibility to tune into what's, like, am I still telling white lies?
Right.
Now you block your throat right back up. You're gonna block your throat shut. You're gonna your truth.
Yeah.
It's am I really looking at you in a way that I'm not feeling, you know, something judgmental, or then you're gonna harden your heart again.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Work, and it's not to say hope is lost on that. It's just correct it as fast as you can, and then you'll get better and faster, and then you'll get to the point where you'll avoid it at all costs. It's like, I can't tell a lie because I'm too good with this. I got to protect it.
You want to keep it open.
Right. And then, but you come to a way where you can explain to the next person, like, I don't want to hurt you. Please believe me when I say this. I don't want to hurt you, but I can't lie to you and tell you that I'm in love with you. Like, say, for instance, like, it's just a personal experience with a guy friend of mine that I had a lot of problems, but it really wasn't problems, because then you start to realize your greatest adversary becomes your best teacher, because it lets you work through. Then you start to be like, wow, this is something else. Like, I picked this to happen because I needed to work through this. It's like you're in school and you want to go to school. You want the courses, and you want the challenges, and you want the assignment. Because then you're like, okay, this time I got an F on that assignment. Now I got to do it again. So you want to, like, okay, when you notice your assignment's coming, you want to do it right. You want to get that A+ the first time, because like it sucks when you got to get an F and then get a D and then a B-. You want to get it right away. So that's the one thing, like once you get them cleared out, you're going to keep getting hit with assignments.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
The unfolding of it is like, like your highest self, and then you're just, the assignments are just coming and you're hitting them, and you're not, buddy, knock you off your balance.
So, and I think that's great. So I just want to ask you some questions about like what's going on in the world right now. What are you doing right now with this social distancing? How are you getting through this right now?
Well, the truth of it is, it doesn't bother me on a personal, within my personal self. The only thing that bothers me is like, and I can't say it's like really bothers me, but it's like we don't have the convenience that we had before. But it doesn't, as far as me, I'm totally fine in my own skin. I'm okay in here because I spend a lot of time anyway. I spend a lot of time in meditation. I spend a lot of time in introspection and studying and reading. So that's
your normal.
So it's okay. That doesn't bother me. Just what bothers me, I don't know if bother is the right, is like other people's reaction, and then they expect me to join on to them, but I can't. I don't.
And the message that I've been receiving through sessions along the way is that these events are going to continue to happen, and the reason they're happening is because we need to stop, and we need to take reflection, look inside ourselves, see where we are, what is really important to us. This right now, to me, is a perfect time for families to come together, be there to, look at what is important. Is it the big house, the big car, it really makes us stop and look. And this is the reason this is happening. Not only that, but we have to change all of the systems and the way we do things, because somewhere along the way we got off track. And so I've been told that this is helping guide us back on track. And this is just one of many things that are going to be changing. But the message I keep receiving in sessions is to stay calm and just know that we'll be fine. It's just people do not like change. So it's very difficult for a lot of people. Now, for a lot of light workers who are on this journey, they're getting the same messages and they know that this is coming. And so it's not as hard, but it is difficult because the average person doesn't like change. So, but do what you can to help each other. Like you said, service to others. What can you do to help those around you? And I know for you too, you just shared with me today that you had a new addition to your family last night.
Yes.
So that's pretty amazing. Have you had an opportunity to see the new addition, or?
I mean, a picture, yeah, but they're not allowing any visitors in the hospital, so
it's going to be a while before you're.
Well, no, they should be getting to go home tonight, so maybe tomorrow I can go see him with like a mask.
Yeah, just be cautious and be careful. Yeah.
And I get to FaceTime with my son, so I get to see him.
That's cool. That's great. All right. Well, is there any last message that you want to leave out for the audience before we end this session today? For anyone listening to this interview?
My true message, I mean, the only thing that I'm thinking for my own personal self is I'm so grateful that I did it, because especially now that I'm blessed with grandchildren, because now that I know what it's all about, they're fresh new lives coming to the planet. They're coming forth for their little journey, and everything that comes out of my mouth to them, I only speak to them in the spirit realm, as far as so that they have little bits that they can incorporate, because their little minds aren't able to process exactly what I'm saying. But I just keep, because I have other grandchildren, I have two other granddaughters, so that right there, that alone is, I'm grateful for that. I'm able to, drop little bits of information to them in little bite-sized pieces. So whenever they see me, my granddaughters, and when my grandson is able to process, they are going to know that I'm coming to them in a whole different, I'm not coming to you like on materialism or,
You're going to be the wise woman in the family. Well, thank you, my beautiful soul sister. I love you. Okay.
Love you. Okay. Bye-bye.
We'll talk to you later. Bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.